So this wholesale business, I haven't made a sale yet,
Right.
but every day I'm showing up and I'm getting, like, it's such a blessing, bro. I thank God every day that I'm doing what I'm doing, because, like, I'm just getting better and better, and I'm getting more harsh on myself. And, like,
Go ahead.
like, in the beginning when I quit my job, there was like a month period where I was just took a break, and that hurt me more than helped me, honestly, because
Like you weren't really doing anything?
no,
Okay.
I was more doing research toward wholesaling, but I wasn't taking action. And the research, you could do that at any point in the day. You could wake up whenever. So I had worked at Mazda for about like 9 months, and I had started waking up at 5 a.m. at some point when I was working at Mazda, right? So then I got super used to waking up at 5 a.m. at Mazda. When I took that month break, it took only a couple weeks to fall off of that.
What?
That's it. And then starting back up was like I restarted all over again. Waking up at 5 a.m. was like the most horrible thing I ever done.
Damn.
It was painful. So I'm like, dang, bro. So that taught me a lesson, is like, if you have momentum, don't stop it,
Keep
bro.
it.
Yeah, because as hard as it is to build that momentum up, it's so easy to stop it.
Right.
Like, it's weird. So I'm at the point where, like, I have my momentum back, but not only do I have it back, I'm starting to implement more things to make myself better. So now I'm starting to work, like, harder, longer, start strategizing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning more. So as far as, like, my wholesale business, I am figuring out different ways to talk to sellers, where I'm reaching out to my sellers at, systems I need to have in place, how often to reach out to them, different offers to make. Like, it's a whole lot of stuff.
So it sounds like these are just things that you've picked up to sort of fine tune your process just along the way.
Exactly. And now, like, I'm looking at my business as a game now. Like, in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, when I was doing my wholesale operation for the first 3 months, I wasn't really seeing too many results, and I was kind of discouraged off that, so I wouldn't really work as hard.
Right.
But I had to make a mindset shift where it's like, all right, I'm building right now. It's not gonna work out instantly. I'm building.
Right.
So now every time I hit it, the phones or whatever, I'm just building. That's it. Any little L I take or any little step I take is a learning lesson. And I'm literally at the point now where every step I take, I'm learning something, and I'm improvising. I'm not improvising. I'm implementing and shifting how I approach the next situation.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I can even see that in like your videos that you post, like just from the early cold call videos to like now, like just the way you communicate like has just changed so much. Like you kind of used to be maybe a little bit slower getting to the point. It seems like now you're ready to get to the point.
Right.
You know what you have to ask if it escalates.
Right.
You know where you want to take the conversation.
Right.
And like I said earlier to you in the car before we started filming, like your mouthpiece, it's so good.
I appreciate that.
Like you don't take no for an answer. You always find a way to ask the right questions. That's experience, I guess.
All that is, bro. Just taking a whole lot of L's.
Really?
Taking a whole lot of L's and not being discouraged. Because, like I said, I started in February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I am, 8 months in.
Yeah.
Not a single dollar. You understand me? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm always talking to my parents, like, yo, I'm 8 months in, still haven't made a dollar. But I use that as a flex, bro. Like, there's a lot of people who enter into wholesaling and they'll come into a deal within their first couple of months.
Really?
And I used to want that to be me, right? But the fact that that's not me and I'm 8 months in without seeing a dollar, I see me as like, all right, I know that I have I know that I could weather the storm, bro. Because if you were to get into wholesaling and you sold your first deal within 8 months, you don't know how it feels to go 8 months without a deal. You understand me?
Yeah.
So I'm in a position where it's like, all right, I can go 8 months without a deal and still go. I can go through anything now.
Right.
Now have me start selling deals month to month, and I started getting on a consistent basis. I can go 3 months without a deal.
Right.
It's not touching what I'm going through right now.
Okay.
You understand me?
I see what
And
you're saying.
all I could do is go up. So I will never be in the situation I am right now ever again.
Okay.
I'll never go 8 months without a deal ever again once I get this thing down pat.
I like the mental pivot there.
You understand me?
That is a really good outlook.
Whereas someone who got into wholesaling and got their first deal within 2 months, a month, they'll have maybe a 5-month dry spell and will give it up. Because you understand me? Because it's like, oh, it's not working anymore. It's not this or that. No, bro, it's not my mentality.
Okay, so you're using this to build you up.
Exactly. And every L I take is just to improve my mindset and to just pivot from that.
Okay.
And I feel like my come up story will be way cooler.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
For sure.
props to everyone out there who wholesales and sold a deal within 2 months or a month, that's cool. That's tough. But my story is gonna be better. Yeah, I went 8 months without a deal. You like who is doing that?
Yeah.
Who is able to just stick with that?
And not throwing the towel.
Throwing the towel. Exactly. Because my mindset is you don't fail unless you quit.
That is true, man.
And I'm not gonna quit.
I think that's the main thing. Like, as long as you don't give up, you can't really fail.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because you're still pushing forward.
Exactly. And I want to say this right now, like all the realtors out there, I'm learning way more through wholesaling than I ever have through being a realtor. I'm just being honest with you. I know how to structure deals. I know how to talk to sellers. And if I wanted to just pivot into being a realtor than a wholesaler, easily could do that and probably kill it as a realtor.
Well, let me ask you this. You think if you would have went down the realtor path, you could have done the same, pivot into being a wholesaler? You think it would have been as easy as of a transition?
That's what I did though.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But let's say someone else who's watching out there maybe might be a realtor and wants to switch over. You think it would be as seamless for them to do it?
No.
No?
No. It's going to take a lot of work.
So wholesaling, you think you have a little bit more of an advantage transitioning to being a realtor?
Yes. 100,000%.
You have to, I don't know this isn't my world, so.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it like this, right? Being a realtor, you're looking for people who are trying to sell on market, right? So as a realtor, your only job is to learn how to facilitate a transaction, right? So whether you're working with a buyer or a seller, your only job is to help them to their end goal. So if you're working with a buyer, you're helping them buy, do all the paperwork, get financed, work with title to buy the property. If you're working with a seller, you're learning how to you're learning how to run comps, find out how much that property is worth, and just pretty much find them a seller and facilitate the transaction as to getting the property sold.
Right.
As a wholesaler, there's a lot more nuances to it. Like the big thing in being a wholesaler is finding sellers who have motivation to sell.
Okay.
That's the marketing strategy. So as a wholesaler, you're not just really hitting up anybody. You're really being targeted as to who you're hitting up.
You want like a specific buyer or seller?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So like if in wholesaling, your main objective is to find motivated sellers who have to sell.
Right.
Right. So with that being said, you pretty much have to tailor your marketing strategy to figure that out. So now I'm going through people who are going through pre-foreclosure. They're going to lose their house anyway. So I'm going to try to provide them a solution to sell their house and make money off it instead of just making nothing and getting it taken from them.
Okay.
Or maybe an expired listing is who I've been hitting up. So people who have listed with realtors and they were not able to get sold. So I come to them. They have motivation. I've been working with this realtor for X amount of months and they couldn't do anything. I come to them like, all right, I have a network of buyers that will buy.
Okay.
You understand me? So they have motivation there. They're trying to get it sold. Their realtor was not able to. So they're going to mess with me because I might be able to do the job that the realtor cannot do.
So they have a problem. You come in with a solution.
Exactly. Or you can go through probate. So people who have inherited properties from a dead loved one. A deceased loved one. And that property might be just passed on to them. Now they have to pay taxes. They have to pay all that type of stuff. Take care of the property. And they might be in their own situation themselves. Now they have a property thrown on them that they have to take care of.
Really? They could be like in another state?
Exactly.
Oh, really?
Yes. Exactly. And those are the best scenarios when, like, imagine you move to Florida.
Yeah.
And you're already not doing so well for yourself. And now your mom died. Now you have to pay taxes and all types of other stuff for a property that you haven't seen in years. And that's the last thing you want is have to take care of a property.
Yeah, that's a burden.
Exactly.
But then that makes it probably a whole lot easier for you to come in.
Exactly.
Negotiate.
So I say all that to say is wholesaling, you really niche down on how you market and how you find sellers.
Okay.
Right? And then you also understand how to talk to sellers. You also learn the transaction process because that's just what you have to do. And then also how to sell it. So if I were to pivot into being a realtor, I know how to market and find motivated sellers.
Right.
I know how to facilitate the transaction, and I know how to sell it.
Okay.
Where realtors only fit in step 2. They know how to facilitate a transaction. They don't necessarily really know how to market to motivated sellers.
Right.
Like a successful good realtor will probably know that, but a lot of them are just in the game for long enough where they just get referrals and all types of stuff.
So they don't necessarily have to do that themselves.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Like a lot of successful realtors I've seen, they have just been in the business long enough who whoever they helped buy a house is just looking to sell in the next couple of years.
What?
You understand?
So they just have the connections, basically.
Right.
Okay.
But if you went from a wholesaler to a realtor, you know how to find people with motivation who want to list.
So that's what you do for a living.
Exactly.
Okay. I got you.
And not only that, realtors I'm seeing, like, I don't even like to reach out to realtors because there's a strategy in wholesaling where you reach out to realtors to try to like wholesale their listings, but they don't even know how to structure deals. They just know how to facilitate them, like I said.
Really?
They know how to find a buyer, do all the paperwork, and then get that done. But when I come to them with something called a creative finance strategy, where it's not necessarily the traditional way to sell a house, they have no clue what I'm talking about.
What do you mean by that when you say creative finance strategy?
So creative finance would be like, let me break down what traditional is. So traditional would be, you have a seller, say you're the agent.
Okay.
You're on the listing side, so you have someone who's trying to sell their house.
Right.
Typically, you will put that on the MLS, and you have other agents coming to you like, all right, my buyer is just someone who's trying to move into the house. They're going to go through Wells Fargo and get a loan and just buy the house like that. Creative finance would be like, I have a lot of situations where I'll go to a realtor and I'll go, okay, I know you want X amount of money or your seller wants X amount of money. We can't do that. But the only way we can is if we structure a creative finance strategy where it's like the seller is willing to act as the bank. So they'll finance the property to me or the buyer.
Okay.
And realtors don't know how to structure that. They just don't.
Is that just something that they don't do normally?
They don't, yeah, exactly. They just don't know enough about it.
Okay.
Because it's not typical.
Okay.
Typically when you're a realtor, you're working with people who are just trying to buy, like your parents or you. You guys are going to if you're trying to buy a house, you're going to go to a bank.
Right.
And then come to that realtor with like, all right, I'm already pre-approved for X amount of money. I'm just going to buy. And it's just straightforward.
That's the traditional.
Right. But we work with a lot of people who, like my Johnny, for example, he'll do a lot of sub-2 deals. He'll go to a realtor and be like, all right, my buyer wants to buy, but the seller is going to finance that to him. So you're the seller. Your house is completely paid off. You want $290. We'll say, all right, we'll give you $290, but we want you to act as the bank. I don't want to go to the bank and get $290. I want to work with you to get $290 so we can work out better terms.
Okay.
So I'm going to break out the term thing, right? And it's very confusing, but
No, go ahead.
traditional financing, if you were to go to a bank, interest rates are like at 8-9%.
I did work at a bank, so I might be with you on some of this.
Oh, right. That's facts. Okay. So when you go to a bank and you get out a loan for a mortgage, you're going to have to pay 8 or 9%.
Right.
You're going to have to put down 20% just to get into the deal. Right. And then you're going to be on like a 30-year amortized loan. Right. So when you do creative finance, it's sexy because if you own the house straight out, I can negotiate my terms with you. So if I know if I went traditional, banks will be asking me for 20% down, 9 to 8% interest rate. I can go to you and be like, yo, let me put down 10%. Let's have my interest rate be at 5%.
Okay, so you have some leeway to negotiate.
You feel me?
Okay.
And agents just don't know how to do that. The seller's still getting their money. We're still buying the house. It's just the interest rate and all the other terms may not be what other banks are going for. They just don't understand how to structure that.
So it's between the wholesaler and the seller to negotiate those terms.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Is creative financing more advantageous than the traditional route?
Always.
There's no benefits to traditional? Like there's nothing better about going the traditional route versus...
I can't say that.
No.
I don't believe that. Like there's always better creative. It's just the only difficulty with creative is that no one understands it and they don't think it's a thing.
Really?
No one thinks it works or it's legal.
Yeah.
But like I said, interest rates are at 9 and 8%.
Stupid.
And you have to put down 20%. Now, I've seen people on YouTube where they get into deals with nothing down.
Nothing down.
Nothing down. Zero down. And now that's a special scenario. There's no way you can do that traditionally.
Yeah.
And even if you don't get that type of scenario and you have a win-win, people put down, like you could put down 5%, 10%, and then have a way low interest rate, and then a normal bank would lend you. You understand? Like,
Okay.
the terms are better. So I say that to say, like, if you're a buyer or you're an investor and you learn how to finance deals creatively,
right?
Like, it's awesome, bro. Like, if you understand how much that property will rent for, you just negotiate your loan with the seller to where you owe them less than what the rent's bringing in. So you're
wait. So you can basically figure out your margins and everything that you need to be making, make them an offer based on those numbers, and then just it goes from there.
Exactly.
What?
So if you're selling a house and I know that John can rent for $2,000 a month, I'm gonna negotiate terms where I can get into that John low. I'll be like, all right, I'll put down, you owe $100,000 for simple numbers, or your property you're trying to sell it for $100,000. I know it could rent for $2,000. These are just crazy random numbers though.
Yeah.
So I would be like, all right, if I were to go to a bank and your property's $100,000, I would have to put down $20,000. 20%, $20,000 with the bank.
Right.
I want to give you 8%, so I only have to put down
$8,000.
right? And I want my interest rate to be 5%. I can get into that, and I have to pay you whatever the math on that is. Let's just say it's like I gotta pay you $1,000 a month.
Okay.
But I know what I rent for $2,000.
So you can pocket that.
I can cash flow $1,000. Like, yeah, just super basic numbers.
So is that like the game plan? Are you looking at like specifically zero down creative financing, or just any sort of creative financing?
As low as you can. You try to stay under 20%.
Like, are you completely shying away from the traditional route, or is that still maybe an option?
No, you can still do traditional, but if you know how to do creative finance and you can find someone who's interested in doing creative finance, it's gold. It's gold. You cannot beat that. You can't.
See, and there's like information is key. Like, I have never ever heard of that.
Exactly. And then imagine trying to sell your house and someone pitches you that. You're skeptical. That's not real.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What? I don't know what that is.
Imagine someone does know that though.
Exactly. And it's not even in wholesaling. When you're in wholesaling, like, it's more, you already know people don't know what that is. So it's more like understanding how to like explain that.
Okay.
So that's kind of like where I'm trying to get better at, is explaining how that can benefit you and me. Okay.
So you don't want it to seem like it's just a one-sided thing.
Right.
Because again, wholesalers have the bad rep.
They do. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that's just where I'm trying to get good at. And like I said, I've been learning a whole lot. Like, you have something called sub 2, where literally like you will take over their mortgage and then they'll transfer the deed to you.
Did you just know that you needed to have like a specific buyer? Like we talked about motivated buyers. Did you know always I need to find motivated buyers?
Motivated sellers?
Motivated sellers. Or were you just looking for any sort of sellers?
I did know that they need to be motivated, but I didn't know what the best route of that was.
Okay.
So back when I was like first learning, everyone would say use a program called PropStream, and if you wholesale, you know about PropStream. And literally, it's a list building website, so you can literally put in your zip code, just different stuff, what you're looking for. It'll filter out properties. So you can be like, all right, this is the zip code I want the properties to be. This is how much equity I want the owner to have. I want the owner to be a single owner. I want the square footage to be this X, Y, and Z. And it'll literally just filter out every property in the area down to what you... Does that make sense?
Yeah, in like a 30-mile radius or something like
exactly,
that. Okay.
Exactly. So I knew to target those people, but like I didn't know... When I did that, they didn't have too much motivation.
Okay.
Like, they were always like, yeah, I'll sell at the right price. But then I found out about like pre-foreclosures, expired listings, probates, tax delinquents. Like, those are people who are like, they're in bad situations.
Yeah.
That's when I started having my most like, they've been my best lead generation sources.
Really?
Yeah.
So is that all you're focused on? Like, you don't really do the other route? It's more so just tax delinquents and...
Yeah, people who like are in like bad situations.
Okay.
But I do want to get back into like that PropStream thing, because like people are closing deals through that. It's just more of a numbers game. When it's all a numbers game, but you need more bulk when it's just like there's not a direct motivation to it.
Right. What are those conversations like with the people that you call? Are people like willing? Are they like a little reluctant maybe? Like, do you have to do some convincing?
Oh yeah, always.
Always?
Yeah, and I'm not convincing ever.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I tried to do in the beginning of wholesaling. That was a pivot I had to make. I'm not looking to convince anyone. If you need my help, you need my help.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. Like, if you're out here trying to convince as a wholesaler, bro, you need to pivot.
Okay.
Like, we're out here to help people who need to be helped.
Okay.
So where I was in the beginning, I was like, oh, well, I was trying to negotiate and do all this other stuff, like, off rip when they didn't really need to sell. Like, they would be like, oh, I'll sell at the right price. If you tell me you're trying to sell at the right price, I'm not calling you back ever again, bro.
Really?
Never.
That's how you know they're not serious.
They're not motivated.
Okay.
Because if they don't hear the price they don't want to hear, then they're not going to hear anything else.
Okay.
Whereas if you're losing your house in pre-foreclosure next week,
you don't really have much of a choice.
you don't have much of a choice. I know you want X amount of money, but this is all I can give you. So it's either you take it or you don't make anything.
Okay. I see the strategy now. I hear people all the time, and it's like, yeah, I'm just going to try to ride this out until I'm, 65, 70. It's like, oh my goodness. That's really what you want to do? Like, be here for the rest of your life?
Exactly.
And, nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Rock out.
No.
Do your thing.
Exactly.
Get it how you live. But, I mean, I don't know.
That's just not what I see for myself.
Yeah, bro.
I feel like we're just so fortunate to be born into the era that we were. Like, so many platforms, so many new opportunities that maybe our parents didn't have growing up. Like, there's so many ways to make money out here.
Exactly.
So many. And I feel like I would just be...
Like, I just don't want to be 70, 80. Like, damn, what if I would have actually went all the way with...
Right?
What if I would have actually followed through on...
Right?
I can't, bro.
Cannot.
I need to have those questions answered.
If I fail, then whatever. And I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to quit.
Exactly. But I just refuse to have regrets like that when I'm older, man.
Exactly. We have one life. I need to know. And I see, like, we're so blessed to be in, like, the era of the internet, bro.
Exactly.
Like, I'm always on social media, Instagram, whatever. Not obsessively, but I follow a lot of people who are doing way better than me.
Same.
And there's a big thing where it's like social media is destroying the youth because they feel like they're behind. Because there's so many people our age doing way better. But like, if you switch your mentality into like, all right, I see what's possible, opposed to I'm behind, then like that'll push you way harder.
Definitely.
Like, you know who Papi Kwan is?
I think you've told me about him before.
Bro, this dude, he's living like a really nice lifestyle. Like, he's like our age, probably younger, 21, 22. And we're only 23, so he's only like a couple years older than us. But he got a McLaren, got an AMG Benz, got a Hellcat Red Eye.
YouTube.
He sells clothes or does whatever.
Yeah.
But I see that he's able to make it work, and he's not the brightest bull business-wise. Like, I mean, he has businesses, like he sells clothes or whatever, but he doesn't, like, to my extent, he's not talking what we're talking. Systems, processes, you know what I mean?
But he did it.
He did it. So I'm like, all right, if he could do it, I could make way more money than he can.
Yeah, for sure.
I just gotta stay consistent and figure out how.
Exactly.
You feel me?
I follow people like that. Like, there's a bull, Rami's Life on YouTube. Bull literally just pretty much records himself buying shoes for like, he'll title it like buying shoes for like 45 minutes, like millions of views. Like, again, like you said, he's doing it.
Exactly.
I'm in like the same avenue. Like, why not put myself out there, see what happens?
Exactly. And that's why I put you on YouTube, bro, because I feel like YouTube, it's just not an easy way to monetize anything, but it's like the best way to monetize your lifestyle.
I think so, because it's like you're already doing this stuff anyway.
Exactly.
Why not just record it?
Exactly.
Like,
right?
Yeah.
And there's other people who wish they could do it and who maybe are doing it.
Yeah.
Or maybe who are doing better than you are.
Right.
But it's just a way to put you in those networks and those circles to where you
Exactly.
hit all three of those.
Exactly.
I have people every day who is like, oh, I'm trying to get into wholesaling. I have people who are like, oh, I'm into wholesaling and I'm at the same level as you. Or I have people who are like, oh, I'm killing it in wholesaling. Either way, I expose myself to be in those type of situations.
Yeah.
And now I have way more opportunity than I ever could have wished, bro.
And that's all because you just put yourself out there.
Exactly. Like, the best thing I ever got from YouTube is like you guys hitting me up and being like, oh, I'm in wholesaling, give me some advice, give me X, Y, and Z, I'm following you, you inspire me. I love hearing that, bro. Like, I hear that pretty often now. Like, I'm not gonna lie,
That is good.
that's awesome.
That probably helps, keep the motivation up, keep that drive up.
Always.
Again, that none of those things come if you don't put yourself out there.
Exactly. So that's why I told you to do YouTube, bro. Like, it just comes with consistency. I've been doing YouTube for, bro,
Kind of a minute now.
it's been about 8 months now. I've been
Yo,
doing YouTube as long as I've been doing wholesaling, bro.
You on like episode what, like 40 something?
Probably 30 songs. Exactly.
That is crazy.
And same thing with eBay, right? It's like the more you post,
Yeah.
the more YouTube starts looking out with you. So my shorts were hitting a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw that.
I was getting like 1K, 2K views per short.
Yeah.
I stopped for like a week or two, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
Did
them
you
Jones
notice it drop?
Yeah, them drums like down to 50,
What?
100. I'm like, dang.
So consistency really matters on YouTube.
Yes. Yes. Exposure. But I'm at a point now where like every video I post, I'm at least gaining 1 or 2 subscribers off of, which is very cool.
Really?
Yes. And I'm seeing that pivot now. Like, it's very cool.
I've heard some people who are like bigger in like the sneaker community say like their shorts are like what's low key it for them. Like it kind of does better than their videos.
Yeah, always. Yeah, always. Short form is what's in now.
Really?
Yes.
I have to look into that.
Short form is what's in. If you're posting videos, it's the same thing. Like, right? If you're doing YouTube over what you're doing, it goes what you're doing, YouTube video, cut those YouTube videos into shorts.
Okay, I see. So just get a little clip, little snippet from that.
Exactly, off the YouTube video. Like, this will probably be a whole YouTube video in itself, but then I'm gonna have dumb clips off this one. Dumb clips.
That's smart. I never thought of it like that.
It's a funnel.
Okay, I see.
I gotta put you on to, since you started YouTube, that's tough. That man, yeah. I gotta put you on to vidIQ.
What is that?
vidIQ is like basically the numbers and stuff that YouTube is doing. So like, you post a video, it'll tell you how to get the best SEO, so search engine optimization. It'll tell you how to get the best like thumbnail, all that. Give you all that. So like live time while you're uploading the video, it'll literally update the score. So you type in exact live time before you even post a video. It'll be like 0 out of 100. You type in the description.
Yeah.
It'll boost it up to a number.
What?
You might be at like 30 out of 100. I bet. Now you put in the thumbnail, might boost you up to 50. You put in the tags, boost you up to like 75.
That is crazy.
Exactly.
Is that what helped you get hot with the shorts?
Yes, bro. What? Yes, bro.
vidIQ.
vidIQ. I'm gonna send it to you after this too.
Definitely.
My man's Johnny put me. Shout out to Johnny.
Shout out Johnny.
Yeah, he put me onto that, and me being a systems type boy, I had to learn how to use that, John. I'm still not hot, but from my little bit of tweaks,
Big improvement.
for sure. Damn, we gotta watch one of your videos.
You think so?
Yeah, right now.
The most recent one. I'm proud of that one.
What was it?
I forget what I even titled it, but it's